During my academic tenure as a student of film and media arts major, I was exposed to many theoretical and practical aspects of cinematography, especially development of film and cultural studies. The aforesaid provided a background, a platform, and a lens for me to contextualize the posited question: is culture the difference between composition and frame? In analyzing this theoretical question, I had an opportunity to verbalize and tell my story because, as a media arts specialist and licensed cultural practitioner, I understand the difference between composition and frame. Composition is how the elements of a photo is arranged, while framing is, in this context, the presentation of visual elements in an image, especially the placement of the subject in relation to other objects. The aforesaid explanation is what I have been practicing consciously and unconsciously, especially composing and framing various subject matter for over 40 years. During this period, I have discovered that in order to get a particular quality, feeling, atmosphere represented and expressed successfully, especially in capturing the moment in photography, it required much more than just pointing the camera at the subject and clicking the shutter button. Capture in this ambience is the act of recording or taking a picture of something using a camera, or the recording or picture taken. On the other hand, framing in photography refers to the technique of drawing focus to the subject in the photo by blocking other parts of the image with something in the scene. Frames can be located in the center of the picture or alongside its edges. While composition is how the elements of a photo are arranged. So as not to conflate this issue, I have framed a subject titled Lisa Smiling. The smile creates a mood, which essentially the mood is cultivated because of the lighting in this frame. Of note, plausibly, this smile should spur a powerful chemical reaction in Lisa's brain, which invariably can make her feel happier. It should be noted that science has shown that the mere act of smiling can lift your mood, lower stress, boost your immune system, and possibly even prolong your life. In another scene, there's a snapshot of the Emancipation Statue, which is a public sculpture symbolizing the breaking of the chains of slavery at emancipation. It is located in Barbados, east of Bridgetown. It has captured the mood because it was shot into the light at the sunrise and was a casual photograph. There's a notion that photography sometimes may seem much more complicated than shooting snapshots. However, in this context, this was not the case, since I was very calculated. In another scene, I framed and cropped the caterpillar inset so as to remove and adjust the outside edges of this caterpillar to improve framing and composition, to draw your eye to the caterpillar, which is the subject, by changing the size or aspect ratio. In other words, image cropping in this ambience is the act of improving my photo or image by removing the unnecessary parts. As I continue to navigate my story by answering the question, is culture the difference between composition and frame? I employ the technique showing and telling. Showing has to do with using description and action to help the reader experience the story, whereas telling has to do with the fact that I summarize or use exposition to simply tell the audience what is happening. Therefore, it should be noted that although I am aware of this fact, and that photography can also be a series or compilation, which is a collection of images that are linked and showcased together, I have arranged some photos which comported themselves somewhat like a photo montage. Photo montage is the process and the result of making a composite photograph which was not cut, neither glue, but rearranged to overlap two or more photographs into a new image. Sometimes this procedure is the resultant composite image which is photographed so that the final image may appear as a seamless physical print. This series of photos have the same theme and have a conceptual bond. They were shot at Thorsby in Magnola's Garden, Bridgetown, Barbados. All of the photos compiled in this text answers the posited question: is culture the difference between composition and frame? Finally, this theoretical question required thinking, which is valued and visible, was actively promoted. At the end of the day, my doctrine corroborates the fact that culture is a word for the way of life of groups of people, meaning the way they do things. However, the posited question, is culture the difference between composition and frame, is the squared capture of an image, while composition is the contents that are put together in the picture, is a pretext to highlight photos which was framed in 5 chapters in ISBN 9781 63848 8507.